And then we're almost live, not just yet. And then we're almost live, not just yet. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. How can I kill that echo? Okay. All right, hopefully this works and we don't mute the whole thing. We'll see. Anyway, so sorry guys for the setup time. I'm really happy that you all can be here today. It's really exciting to see everyone in person, which I haven't seen most of you in person in, I want to say, a year. So it's really nice getting to see you. And some of you I actually never seen in person until today, so hello. So for those watching online, my name is Angel Reyes Rodriguez. I'm the director of the McNair Scholars program. And we're here to just celebrate all the accomplishments of you, the graduating scholars, as well as the scholars who are joining us for the first time and are about to start conducting academic research. So it's going to be the first step towards your academic career. So I'm really excited that you get to do some research this summer. So the importance of academic research is enormous. Why? Because when you start doing academic research, you get a chance to actually learn from facts, learn from experimentation, and it's a process that you should cherish because that's how we acquire information that is as free from bias as possible. There's always bias in everything we do because we're humans, but when we follow the research process, that bias is as mitigated as it can be done. So I'm really glad that you get to experience that. I'm also excited because we have six graduates here, and this is a very, very impressive cohort. So the graduates that we're celebrating today, they actually managed to do something amazing. They managed to graduate during one of the worst academic years for everyone in record. They managed to graduate despite global pandemic, switching to remote learning, and the craziness that is happening in the world, especially when it comes to the reckoning with our racial injustice that is so prevalent. So yeah, I'm truly amazed at how you guys have been able to power through and graduated. Actually, it's much more impressive because of all six who are graduating, all of you are grad school bound. 75% of you, so the majority of you, are already accepted into grad programs. So I would like a round of applause for everyone who is going to grad school soon. So I have some notes here. I'm not gonna attach to them just because I realize that it's a lot. So what I wanna do is that I wanna be able to just touch on a few points. For those who are watching from home, I just wanna talk a little bit about Ronald Mcnair, which is our namesake. So our program is named after Dr. Ronald E. McNair. He grew up in the segregated South, and despite all of the challenges that were on his way, he managed to graduate with a PhD from MIT in physics. When he actually had a very successful academic career, when during the process he decided that that wasn't enough for him. He became a black belt in Taekwondo, and he joined NASA. So at NASA, he was the second African-American person to reach space, and he had a very promising career. Unfortunately, that got cut short because he was a crew member of the Space Shuttle Challenger, And as you know, it exploded after launch in 1996, and the crew perished. However, Dr. McNair's legacy lives on in many ways across the country. One of them, a program like this. So our program, the McNair Scholars program, supports students who are like Ronald Mcnair, students who are either first-generation college students or who are from underrepresented background who want to go on and pursue PhD for the most part. So that's about the program. Our program has been very successful here at CSU at maintaining everyone engaged and getting them through their bachelor's at least. And we have a track record of sending people on their way towards PhD degrees. We have some examples here. 2 of our GAs were McNair Scholars. One of them is finishing her master's. The second one did already and is on her way to a PhD. And Autumn was not a McNair Scholar, but she's a first-generation student as well. And she is on her way to her doctorate. So we have a lot of people here who understand what the process of graduate education is like. And if at any point you have any questions about what to expect or how to navigate the process, please make sure that you ask them because they will be more than happy to share that with you. All right, let's see. So I wanted to touch on one more thing before I stop my time here. I want to make sure that you guys are prepared for what's going to happen once you go to grad school. And I thought that because you have not heard enough from me all year, it would be a good chance to give you yet another mini topic of discussion. So I wanted to talk about imposter syndrome. That's something that a lot of you may encounter in your academic career. It is defined by feelings of inadequacy and feeling like you don't belong in places. That is very common upon people who are either women, underrepresented minority in an environment, or who basically behave like everyone behaves differently from everyone else wherever they are at. So these are usually high achieving individuals who, when they get in an environment where other individuals are also high achieving, but they look different than them, they may start feeling like they're being judged, and they judge themselves in the process. So I want to make sure that you are aware of this, and moving forward, if you start feeling that way, which some of you unfortunately will be in the position of feeling like that, that you remember a day like today, a day in which you're being celebrated because you have accomplished so much and you have worked so hard to get where you are. So make sure that you can look back, remember that you have always worked really, really hard for what you're for what you want. And I'm pretty sure that in the future, that's gonna be what you're gonna be doing, because knowing you have shown me through very different examples and different scenarios that you worked really hard for whatever you need and for whatever you want. So please remember something like this. And I just wanna make sure that I said it in the very last day so you can remember the last thing I said, all right? Alrighty, so before I just go on a rant, I wanted to switch gears and start with the celebration. So I'm gonna start by calling somebody who represents all the values that I have been alluding to. Responsible, high achieving, very smart. This student is about to graduate with a major in psychology and minors in business and sociology. So please give a round of applause for Andrea Arnold.
Thank you for that introduction. So good evening, scholars, faculty, family, and friends. Welcome to the McNair Spring 2021 End of Year Celebration. For those who know me, my name is Drea, and for all intents and purposes, that is my name. However, if we are being professional and giving out government names, hi everybody, my name is Andrea Arnold. I am a fourth year psychology student with minors in sociology and business. Since I was in grade school, I've been asked to give a speech. I could never understand why, because I was a very shy and a very quiet kid. It's hard to believe now if you get to know me. But I've been greatly disciplined with strong drive since birth practically, but I never thought much about that at that time. I just got my work done, respected my peers and my teachers, and did what was asked of me. Nothing more, nothing less. But still, I was always asked to say something at this culmination or at this event, and the huge people pleaser that I am, I agree without hesitation. Trust me though, I was always hesitant. I could barely even talk to people I knew without sweating. I was scared for my life every time I walked in front of big crowds. And let me tell you, picturing everybody in their underwear does not work. But I was committed to it, so I saw it all the way through. And though each talking event consisted of many uhs and ums, stuttering, a stomach full of butterflies, sweats, numbness, they were always successful and gave me a sense of accomplishment. So you're probably sitting here like, okay, Drea, that's a nice story, but why are you telling us this? Are you trying to hint that you're scared up here? Well, yeah, but that's not why I'm telling you the story. So those teachers and those faculty saw something in me back then that I never saw in myself. It took me years to find it in myself. It was the potential to be great and to be successful. They saw greatness in me that I never allowed myself to see. I was way too focused on what other people wanted and what other people thought of me that I never focused on my own needs and my own wants. I was clouded by my self-made personality and the image I thought I needed to be accepted. I was blocking my own blessings and growth. It was obstructing me from being my authentic self, which in hindsight contributed to a lot of my confusions and mixed emotions over the years. But now, with the help from my own self-discovery, friends, mentors, and the McNair program, I know I am great. I know I am successful with many more successes to come. I now know that these teachers and these faculties really did see something in me that I've always had in myself. I know the path I go down is for myself and my future desires. I'm not hiding behind excuses, peers, family, or social media. I know my drive, determination, and mindset is what sets me apart from others and will result in my greatest accomplishments to this world. So scholars, new and seasoned, each and every one of you here or watching live, what sets you apart from other people? You already possess a greatness in you for success, but what are you gonna do with it? You are part of McNair Scholars program because you bring something different to the community. You have talents and abilities that are beautiful and deserve to be shared with the world. So don't let fear or excuses stop you from being you and your authentic self or trying new things. Life is full of opportunities, embrace them. Be kind to yourself and don't give up. Obstacles are bound to happen, but they are just lessons and stepping stones to something bigger. You have a potential, use it. This is your life. You control the narrative, so create a narrative that makes you happy. So before I end my time up here, I want to say thank you to my parents who are watching, Dr. Reyes Rodriguez, my mentors who may watch or not watch, and the many other individuals who guided me to be where I'm at today. Thank you, and have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you, Drea. I'm actually very surprised that you don't know why people ask you to talk. That was wonderful. All righty. So the next person that I want to introduce is someone I know very well. Is our keynote speaker, Dr. Alice Valentin Torres. I have some notes here, even though, like I said, I know her very well. So Dr. Valentin Torres got a bachelor's degree from the University of Puerto Rico in biology. And then she moved to Cleveland, where she went to Case Western Reserve University. She got her PhD in molecular biology, studying cells of the immune system. In particular, she was working on studying the interactions of two types of cells, dendritic cells and natural killer cells, and how they interacted and gave each other signals in the context of HIV infection. After she graduated, she decided to stay in Cleveland and went to become a postdoctoral fellow at the Cleveland Clinic. There she worked in neuroinflammation, once again studying immune interactions, in this case in the brain, within the context of neurodegeneration. Now, Dr. Valentin Torres is a senior immunologist at the biotech company Athersys, down the street on Carnegie. The company is known for its stem cell technology and its applications for very different diseases. And I don't know exactly what she's going to be talking about, so I don't want to give too many more details. So please, let's welcome Dr. Valentin Torres.
I almost didn't make it. I was like, oh my God, where am I at? So I'm like looking around the parking, I missed it. Anyways, I'm here and that's what matters. I'm so honored to be here and share such an important point in your lives. Either you're going into a new thing and doing grad school, or you're starting this new program that is definitely gonna change your lives and make your path easier for whatever you decide to do at the end. So I'm very, very happy to be here. So I didn't really want to spend too much time talking about myself. I do that enough. But I wanted to give you guys some tips that I thought when I was in grad school, if somebody would have told me that, or not even grad school, just, advanced degrees in general, just going to college, or it would have helped me a lot. So I heard Angel talk about, Dr. Reyes. We've known each other since high school. So it's a little bit hard for me to say Dr. Reyes. I'm not used to it. It's hard with the mask. So before I get started, you earned your place to be here. You did everything to make yourself situated to win, to be successful. You did it. Like whether you're going to that next step or you're joining the program and you're trying to get to that next step, but you earn it. And that is hard for us because it's well known that underrepresented people, from whether if it's a social economics or if it's a racial background, we think that we don't deserve things, but we do because you work hard. So we have what is called the imposter syndrome. And I'm sure some of you guys have heard of that. But yeah, essentially we think that we don't know anything, that everybody else knows more, and therefore we shouldn't be where we are. But that is not the case. When we think about it, the reality is that we all know a lot. And we might not know the same as everybody else, but we share a lot of knowledge. And that's the key point. You earn it. So you got to own your success. You own it and you embrace it and you keep on going. Don't let anything set you behind. So with that, you got to prepare yourself, right? I mean, you made it this far because you're good. So a lot of these things you probably already know. So you got to prepare yourself and, as usual, academically, you got to study, you got to make a plan, organize, prioritize, which is hard. And I still struggle with that one. I mean, I should have prioritized that I needed to make here on time, but there I was, my tech is calling me like, you need to look at this data. And I'm like, oh my God, I am not ready, but yes, I need to look at this data. And yeah, I didn't prioritize right. I made it, but I still struggle with that. But yeah, you gotta find what's the most important at the time and set specific time for that so that you can accomplish things. And the more you climb up that ladder, the harder it gets because you're gonna have a lot of things that you think they're all important and you just don't have that time. But you try to manage. So with that, you gotta set realistic expectations. And that is also hard because I can see that you guys are all overachievers, right? You want to continue to do more. And sometimes you just don't have that time. And it's a matter of time. You just don't have it. So you have to set these realistic expectations to say, what can you actually accomplish within that time? I also struggle with that. Right now, just going back a little bit about my work, we've been working on this assay for a long time. Well, in theory, not long enough, because usually most companies do this for years. We've done it in months. Now, the assay is not 100% ready because we've only been able to do it in months, right? But the reality is I don't have enough time to get it perfect. I have to get it good enough. And it's hard. It's hard to tell my boss, like, we're really trying, I'm really trying my best, but their expectations are like, no, we need to get it perfect. Somehow I'm gonna have to figure it out. But the point is that we gotta keep ourselves real and true to what we can actually do. So with that, you can't be afraid of asking for help. I mean, just the fact that you're part of this program that is giving you these tools to be successful just shows you that you're asking for help. Because without these tools, your path is going to be harder. I was just like you. I was part of a program when I was in college that helped me go into grad school. And that's how I sort of made it. Well, relatively speaking, right? But yeah, these things help. So there's things like, I was doing a little bit of research. There was this study published by University of Texas, Houston. And essentially they were looking at members of a group that were facing social disadvantages and how they would make it to college. And then they will see that they were facing a lot of challenges and difficulties. And then they would quit. So they developed this program, they called it lay theory intervention, that essentially was trying to tell them, hey, you're not the only one, there's more like you, here's some tools so that you can make it. So there's a lot of help out there, we just gotta go look for it. So you gotta prepare yourself, and probably this is more important, mentally, because it's exhausting. You're gonna do a lot of work, you're going to be tired, and you're not gonna have time for anything. But you have to set that time for yourself, because otherwise you're not gonna be productive, you're not gonna be able to accomplish all the things you want, and things are gonna start getting sloppy. This happened to me last year. With the pandemic, our company started doing clinical trials for COVID patients. And we were designing the clinical trials, trying to get the patients. My part was looking at what biomarkers in immunology biomarkers we wanted to look at. So that was a lot of stress. But then I was developing that assay that I talked to you about at the same time. I was exhausted. Then I find myself in my office and I can't think. I'm like, oh my God. Normally this takes me 5 minutes to do. And here I am, half an hour later, staring at my computer, and I can't get it done because I'm just tired. And I said, okay, I need a break. You don't want to get to that point because it's not healthy. So there's a lot of science showing that if you save that me time, you're gonna be more productive because your brain reboots, you unwind, you can concentrate better, you're gonna have space for self-discovery, and you can think better. That means that you're gonna solve those problems faster, and you're gonna be more pleasant to everybody that is around you. So one thing I did, I like to teach myself things, self-taught a lot of things. And I remember great Facebook targeted ad that showed me a video or showed me this Amazon book on modern calligraphy. And I was like, you know what? That sounds cool. It's like $5. I'll just buy it and try that. And that helped me a lot. I would get home and I started learning modern calligraphy on my own, just looking at the book. And those, 20, 30 minutes a day made a huge difference. I was able to just forget about everything else, just focus on that, and then I was much better. Sometimes not so pretty words are coming out, but then I've gotten a lot better over a year. So things like that help. So you always want to keep that balance. In immunology, we talk about homeostasis, which is essentially you want this perfect balance between inflammation and controlling of the inflammation. If you have too much inflammation, it causes damage. If you don't have enough inflammation, it also is going to cause damage. So you want that balance. So you want to find a way that you have a balance between school and life. And, that's hard. But the best way, you start to prioritize and you organize so that you're prepared. And keeping a good schedule, calendar. I joke around because Angel is way better at that than I am. So when we were a postdoc together, he would joke around that he had a calendar for my schedule because I was very bad at it. So it's like, oh, I know you're not doing anything this day. We're doing this. I'm like, yep, okay, if you say so. So that worked for us. Now I have to do it. Now I got more responsibilities, so I have to have a calendar more detailed with all the stuff that I have to do. So another thing that has taken me a lot of time to learn was to say that I don't know. That is hard because I have a personality of I want to, learn and know things, and I don't want to look weak. And sometimes saying I don't know, it's like, ooh, but they're gonna think that I am not deserving to be here. But that's not the case. You just can't know everything. And in the world of science, we do science because we still have so much that we don't know. So that's why we still do this, because otherwise we couldn't do research. Research what if we know everything, right? So it's okay to say I don't know. So like Socrates said, to know that one thing he knows, he himself is nothing. So if a Greek philosopher can say that he doesn't know anything, I'm sure we can say that too. Now, there's a very fine line between not knowing because one, you either haven't done the studies or you haven't thought about that, or that you're not prepared. That's very different. So you want to be prepared, but you want to know that you can identify those things that you just don't know. And that's going to earn you the respect of all your peers. Because they will see you like, oh, he or she admitted that they just didn't know. That's good. That's very good. So, you want to create a plan so that you can learn those things that you don't know. And, this is a very general plan, but you make it, you're ignorant about that particular subject. You figure out what part of that subject you want to study. You make a plan, and then you execute that plan. And you'll see that you will learn more. So you want to find a mentor. And there are different types of mentors. You can have a mentor for things outside your career and, a family member and things like that. But you want a mentor also for your career that usually has gone through a lot of the stuff that you have or stuff that you haven't, but has experience of what you want to do. So why? Because they're going to help you to inspire you and potentially give you more opportunities to do that thing you want to do. So they have those life experiences that, it can be somebody that is more senior than you are, or a professor, or just somebody that works in that career that you want to do. They will help. And how do you find a mentor? By networking. You talk to people. That's the best way to do things. You talk to people and you're going to meet people. And even if they're not what you're looking for, they might say, you know what? I know so-and-so that does this, that can help you out. And then they connect you, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, wow, this is great. I got my next job. That's how I got my job. That's how I got my postdoc and his postdoc. Networking. It's all about networking. So you want to look for certain things in a mentor, because not everybody can be a mentor, or they're not a good mentor for you. So you want to find somebody that challenges you. And that's hard because sometimes not everybody wants that challenge. I personally, I need that challenge. I need that challenge at work. I need somebody that is critical of my work, that says like, oh yeah, that's nice, but what about this? Did you try this? Did you try that? And I'll be like, oh my God, yeah, I did. Or no, that's a great idea. Let's try that. I need that challenge. But we all need a little bit of challenge because otherwise we don't grow. So you need that pressure that makes you grow. So you want somebody that is experienced, different degrees of experience, but might know more about what you're looking for than you do. You want somebody that is going to be there for you, might not be there for you instantly, but if you reach out, it's going to answer at some point. Not a year later, but somebody that supports you and helps you out and is listening and is invested in your success. They want you to be successful. We all want everybody to be successful, but some people more than others. So you want to find that person that's going to help you out to be successful and guides you to find that answer that you're looking for, whether it's like, what should I write in my personal statement for grad school? Or what should I study for this, for the GRE or something like that, right? Somebody that can answer those a little bit harder questions for you and gives you constructive feedback, because we're not perfect. There's going to be a lot of times that we're going to do stuff wrong. So you want somebody that said, hey, you did this great, but here are some things that you want to improve. And that respects you, because respect is everything. You want somebody that respects you and care about you so that you feel like they're really mentoring you. So now I'm switching a little bit. At some point, hopefully all of you are going to join a graduate program. So you're going to have to find a thesis advisor or a thesis mentor. And that is hard. That is very hard. And your entire experience in grad school, it's almost depending on that one person. So you want to be really picky. And I wish somebody would have told me that. I struggle a lot in grad school trying to find someone. And I focused on the wrong stuff. I wanted to do virus research. I wanted to study viruses. I thought they were cool, and that's what I wanted to do. So I ended up doing HIV. I rotated. So for our case program, you rotate in 3 different labs, and then you choose. Lab number 1, after I rotate, he tells me, we don't have funding, so I cannot have you. So that's 1 down. Lab number 2, I'm talking with the professor, and I don't know, after 20 minutes, he asked me, do you speak English? And I was like, well, I think so. Are you American? Couldn't you I don't know if Google existed back then, but couldn't you search that before you talk to me? Yeah. So, of course, I couldn't join that lab. It was going to be miserable for me, right? So then I'm stuck with option 3. And that was not the best option for me. That was just not. So I had that cartoon, the PhD comics. They have really funny scientific cartoons. But yeah. And the main reason why he wasn't a good mentor for me is because of my needs. When I started in grad school, I had a little bit of lab experience, but not enough to be fully independent. So I needed someone that was more available, and he was not, because he was a very well recognized HIV researcher, like one of the guys from the early on in the discovery of HIV. So of course he's always traveling. Of course he's never around. So he cannot mentor me. So that didn't work out. Sadly, we realized this 4 years into my PhD. You don't want that. You don't want to find that so late because this is your life. You want to be done. You want to continue to your next step, right? I felt like I was stuck, and I don't want any of you to go through that. So that being said, you got to do your research. And what do I mean by research? That's the research that, when you're reading people's comments on, I don't know, cleveland.com or whatever, there's like I say, do your research about vaccines. That's that type of research. You want to talk to people. You want to ask those postdocs, those graduate students, the techs, whoever is working for that person, how they like it. How has their experience been? Are they happy? Are they productive? How is that mentor with them? Because chances are, if they're bad with them, they're going to be bad with you. So you don't want that. So you want to see if they have had students that have already graduated. And if they do, contact them. You want to talk to them because they will be honest, very honest. I remember when I started my second lab in grad school, she was brand new in the university. And so nobody knew anything about her. Her research was very similar to what I was working, so it made the transition easier. But I couldn't ask anybody how it was working for her. If I would have had that, I would have said, this is not a good match. But I'm 4 years in, I gotta finish. I can't just quit. I hate my life, but I gotta do this. Science, great. But my life, I was miserable. So I don't want none of you guys go through that because it's really stressful. And it makes us quit. And I didn't want to quit. I started getting sick. Stress was killing me. Started losing my hair, breaking out in hives because the stress was killing me. Because I couldn't quit. I couldn't quit. How do I go to tell my parents after all this time that I'm quitting 6 years in? I can't. I need to finish. So don't put yourself in that situation. So one thing, they will be honest. I remember there was a postdoc that was interviewing for a position in our lab. And she asked me, how do you like it here? I want to get out. That was that. Never saw her. Good for her, right? You don't want to put anybody in the position that you're at if it's miserable. So they will let you know. So another thing is, I chose that lab because the science was really relevant to what I was doing. But sometimes you want to find a balance between a good mentor and the science that you want. Because you can switch fields a lot. I did HIV, it was immunology, but it was human. Then I did mouse in the brain. I hated brain stuff, but I like the immune system in the brain. That's really cool. But it was all mouse. And now I'm back to humans. So it's different. But still, I was able to learn a lot from each of the little fields that I was at. But my mentor as a postdoc, he was difficult, very challenging, sometimes would say inappropriate things, but it worked. He was great. He brought me back that love to science. I wanted to continue what I was doing, and I was proud, and I was happy. And even if I had to spend weekends in there, long hours in the lab looking at the mice, I was doing it because I was happy, and I was excited, and I was curious of the science. But before, I wanted to quit. I finished my PhD, and I actually was working at Target because I hated science. That's how bad my PhD experience was. So here I am, as a cashier at Target because I didn't want to do research. And then I'm overqualified for everything. And then I can't find a job. Is that really what I went to school for? No. Then, I found this lab, and my life changed. Now I'm super happy. my career keeps on going, everything works. So, as in career-wise. Experiments sometimes don't work. But things go and keep on progressing. And I'm happy in what I'm doing. But I needed to find that mentor that was going to take me and help me to get there. So I was doing a little bit of investment, side note. And I found this quote from Luli Demisi. She's the president of Ali Invest. So you can buy, it's an online bank, really good. Good if you want to have here I am giving a free advertisement, but it's good interest rate, return interest rate for your savings account. Best in the market. Anyways, she said, don't look only for people who think like you. Seek out people who will poke holes in your blind spots and have the courage to be told when something doesn't work out. Yeah, that's what you need. You need somebody that tells you, okay, this is wrong. And then you have to be able to accept it, because that sometimes is hard. You don't want to be told that you did something wrong. It sucks. I remember going to my postdoc lab, and he's telling me, oh, I can't believe you did this. And I started crying. He's like, why are you crying? I'm like, I'm just mad at myself because I messed it up. He's like, oh, you'll be fine. Just don't do it again. I'm like, okay, that works out. That was a lot better. And I keep on going and things work out and so on. But you want to have that courage to take that constructive criticism. So with that, the scientist is not a person who gives the right answers. It is just the person who asks the right questions. It's all about what you ask. So that's all I have. I don't know if you guys have questions. Yeah, I'm available. Anybody? Now, later, whenever. Thank you. I don't even know how long I took.
I have two questions for you before you go. Alrighty. So question number one. I'll ask one question, give you time to answer, and then I'll ask the second one. So you're confused.
Go.
Alrighty. So question number one. So you went through undergrad, then you did your PhD, postdoc, and now you work at a company.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell us a little bit about how diversity changed as you move from one to the next, and where you are now?
So in college, for us, I'm in Puerto Rico. Everybody's Puerto Rican. So I didn't think of diversity ever. I started in grad school, and I get there. I have an English barrier, and no one looks like me. There was only one African American in the program, and then me, the only Hispanic. And of course, I team up with the African American guy because we're the closest we got. So that was it. So that helped out. We were able to go to school. So with time, Case gave me the opportunity to go back home to recruit other students. That's how it was interesting. We're in a dinner, and then he shows up, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "Oh my God, we went to high school together. This is wild." So, so then he starts coming, and then Case developed a program that was for underrepresented minorities to go into helping them, they call it prep, to go to grad school. So then now there's more of an influx of minorities in the program. So there, I wasn't so alone. Then I went to my postdoc, and the Cleveland Clinic talks about diversity and stuff like that. They still don't have a single principal investigator that is a minority. They don't. They have physicians, but that's about it. So Angel starts in the lab, so we're probably like literally the only minorities in our department in the one lab. In my company, I am the only scientist that is a minority. Um, it it gets, the more up you get, the more obvious it gets that the diversity is just not there. But I'm making my mark. I'm trying to get them to, well, this year was hard, last year because of the pandemic, but I'm trying to have interns that can come into Athersys and work with me. And so that we can, but I'd rather have somebody from either a social-economical disadvantaged background or a minority. It's like, the other ones, we don't need the kid that is this lawyer's son to be part of, no, they already have enough. We gotta help each other. So, but yeah, it gets a little bit harder or less diverse the more you move up. It's sad. I'm trying to change it. That answer that?
Yeah. Thank you. Question number 2. Can you tell us about your very first research experience and whether that's exactly what you're doing now or not? And regardless, what did you learn from just that one first research experience?
So when I I guess I meant to talk about that and I forgot. But my family, they, none of them finished college. I was the first one going to college. I didn't know about science, so all I knew was you could be a physician. So I was like, you know what? I want to be a dentist because I had braces. Then I was like, no, I want to be a dermatologist because I was at the dermatologist like every 2 months because I had a skin condition. It's gone now. But yeah, it was because that's what all I was seeing. And I remember I was in our biology building and I see those flyers that say, Mark program, $900 a month. I was like, what? Sign me in. So I went and I got into the program and they're like, oh yeah, so this is for students that want to do research. I was like, I can do that? Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. I was a little bit busy. I was a student athlete, so I was doing a lot of things. And then I started doing research in a lab there. So I was doing some sort of cell culture, and we were infecting some cells with a virus. So I'm sort of like, I do a lot of cell culture still, a little bit different. But then after that, part of the program was I needed to go to a summer program somewhere else. So like I said, I'm not very good at prioritizing. So with everything else, being an athlete and all of that stuff, I didn't have time. Next thing I know, almost all the programs deadlines are coming due, and I haven't applied to anything. One university went to my university to recruit students for their summer program, and that was Case. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I would love it to be part of this, blah, blah. And they were like, well, can you send me your transcript? And I was like, I can run right now across campus and get it. I ran. I cannot do that these days. Got it. Gave them my transcript, and I got into their program. So there, I was started doing HIV research. And I think that experience was what shaped what I'm doing now. So to me, he was like my very first mentor that I had. He was Hispanic. So he forced me to speak English when I was meeting with him during my program. So that I needed that. That's the only way my English gets better, right? And I remember before I got this position, I was debating what I wanted to do. They offered me the position, and it sounded great, but I was doing so good at the Cleveland Clinic as a postdoc. Things were just working out. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I can be a principal investigator. Maybe I can do that. So I talked to him. My very first guy that I met in 2005, 2004, when I first came to Cleveland. And he told me, you know, depending on what the offer is, if it's a lot of money, just take it. Or you can ask the clinic for if they can pay you more. When I saw the offer, I was like, yep, they're not gonna be able to pay that. Bye. I love you guys, but I'm moving to the next. But he told me, he worked for a company for a time. He worked as professor for some time, then a company, then he went back to a professor. So he said, you know, they all have their advantages and disadvantages, but either way, you're gonna learn a lot. And it sounds like this is gonna be a new opportunity to learn new things that is gonna make you a more successful scientist at the end of the day. Whether you go back to being a principal investigator at a university, or you stay in the industry field working for a pharma company, you're still gonna learn stuff. And I'm glad I listened, because it has worked out great for me. I still have a good relationship with my postdoc PI. Well, my first PI passed away. Then I started working with his wife. Yeah, we still have a good relationship. I have to email her. I keep saying that, and I haven't in like a month or so. I need to do that. But yeah, find those key mentors that will help you along the way, because they come handy later on. Like it did to me, like, I don't know, that would be like 13 years later, I contact him. So, I mean, we stay in touch, but yeah, you want to do that.
Any more questions? All right, well, please, let's thank Dr. Valentin Torres.
Thank you. Oh, I better not do this.
Everything. Thank you. All righty. All right, so the learning part is over. Now it's time to start celebrating. So to get us started, we're gonna call our GA, Khadija Najjar, and she's gonna get us started.
Start to party, but here we are. Hi everyone, my name is Khadija. Naturally can't find my speech, so we're gonna wing it. My name is Khadija again, hello. I'm a McNair GEO, and if you're getting emails from me, that's me. I am a McNair alumni. I graduated with my bachelor's 2016, so it's been some time. And I'm currently a doctoral student studying psychology here at Cleveland State, like for life. I am here to tell you guys all about one of our favorite GAs, Clarissa. And if you know Clarissa, you know that she is the actual life of the party. But in addition to her being the life of the party, she's so much more. I actually don't know a GA life without Clarissa, because my first GA when I was a master's at the other trail program was when I met Clarissa. So it's just very sad and very weird that she's graduating, because I don't know a grad school life without her. I don't even know where to start. Like anyone that knows Clarissa, you know that she's very charismatic. It's very rare to have the perfect balance of super, super intelligent and then still being super relatable, where no matter who you are, what walk of life you come from, what level of student you are, from first day of your first year of college to somewhere in your master's, she is there and she's able to help and you're able to relate to her. And she just is very, very resourceful, and she cares. And I feel like the amount that you care about so many people and the way that you help and go above and beyond. Like I remember when we were success coaching even, or here at McNair, like the way you connect with scholars and the way you make sure that they get what they need and you're always checking up on them. It's a rare quality to have that Clarissa has. And anyone that works with her, y'all know it. Like I could talk about how great she is for days, but you guys know. In the office, I could learn a lot from Clarissa here. The balance of Dr. Torres talked about life balance and work balance, and Clarissa's got that. So she's on top of her schoolwork. She's on top of all these things. She does this amazing research. She did a research as a McNair Scholar with Dr. Gonsi. in the Heart Lab, and still having her personal life and working at Mitchell's and serving ice cream and smiles. Ice cream is my fave. And maintaining her GA and making the McNair office such a lively place to be. And I don't know, like you embody part of what McNair is. Like you came through, you did your SRI, you graduated, you got your master's, you're a whole licensed professional counselor. And like, who knows where you're gonna go next? And it's just so exciting. And I just feel very honored to be able to be the one to talk about you, to you, and to everyone, just because like I just have a special place in my heart. Like I know, like I felt like I was able to pass forward the information I got to be where I am to you. I'm getting emotional now. Like I just love you a lot, and I'm really, really excited and happy for you. If I missed anything, I'm sorry. We got you a small gift as a token of our appreciation. You love gifts, so feel free to hop on the stage, the makeshift stage. And in National Khadija
That's
fashion,
not little.
it's
She lied.
it's actually from McNair, so it's not
Okay.
it's not mine. It's from Dr. Reyes. Guys, I'm fasting. My brain is dead.
Thank
Here
you.
go. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Your words
I
are
love
so
you.
kind.
Thank you.
Khadija like just spent however
That was
many
5
minutes
minutes.
talking about me. But I could always go on and on about her. She was right when she said everything she learned, she told me. I wouldn't have even known what McNair was without her, or like what like doing independent studies are, research. What else did you teach me? She helped me draft my first email to a professor. Do you remember that?
But the way you were able to help everyone in this room do the same thing almost.
Yeah, I was his success coach. Mhm.
And look at what he
I was
is
his
now.
manager. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm just kidding. Thank you so
Email
much.
me.
You guys are so nice. This is not a little gift.
All right,
I
that's
appreciate it.
what I've got.
All right, and as you know, the reason Clarissa is leaving us is because she is going on to a PhD program. Did you tell us which one it is?
I've actually wondered to I don't actually know what my next steps are. I've actually kind of realized that with everything going on, that I have different interests. I'm interested more in social justice and things like that, incarceration and equality for people of color, that I don't think a mental health degree is going to help me get those things. So I don't know yet. So we'll see. I do need a break though. I've been going nonstop since high school. Ever since time off. So I'm looking forward to what I'm going to do next.
Sounds exciting. Clarissa, but you are not leaving us just yet, so I'll ask you to come back. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we're also obviously like I feel like none of us are working off a script. We're winging it. But every year we like to acknowledge individuals that have just been, thank you, outstanding in their performance and what they do and bring to the program. And every year we acknowledge a Mentor of the Year award and a Scholar of the Year award. So first up, we're going to do the Mentor of the Year. And we recognize this mentor for her tremendous support and encouragement to not only like her current McNair Scholar, but also the few new McNair Scholars that she will be mentoring this upcoming year. And we are honored to present the Mentor of the Year award to Dr. Shireen Nasser. She's in the psychology department. I've heard about the work she's done. I know people she's mentored. She's great. And she was Drea's advisor and mentor. So y'all seen what she did up here when she got up here. So we are honored to give her that award, the Mentor of the Year award. I thought she was going to be here. I thought I was going to be able to hand it to her.
And she's also a mentor of who else is being mentored by Dr. Nasser starting now?
Khadija is an always ongoing advisee. Anybody else getting mentored by Dr. Nasser in here?
Oh,
No.
if you're looking for a non-disciplinary mentor,
As we get her more scholars. And then next we have the Scholar of the Year. And since the beginning, this scholar has put in countless efforts to be present and engaging in the program. This scholar won the best poster presentation at our virtual poster presentation in open house last semester, and is also currently working on a manuscript. As I'm like saying this, I always wonder if like the person knows that we're talking about them. But we are so proud and honored to have her a part of the McNair Scholars program, and we'd like to present her the award with the Scholar of the Year to Alexis Merck. Make sure this is the right one. Oh, is she not here today? I thought I saw her signature. Maybe she left.
yeah.
Okay,
Alrighty, so
Awesome.
I guess all of our awards are gonna be,
virtual.
yeah, virtual. So there you go. Unfortunately, we don't have runner-ups. Otherwise, it would be a great opportunity to do it, since it was such a tough selection. Alrighty. Where's Autumn? Alrighty. So, yeah, I know. It's been a long day. Alrighty. So the next thing that we're gonna be doing is celebrating the scholars who are gonna be graduating. Like I mentioned at the very beginning, most of you are on your way to a PhD, to grad school, sorry, in the upcoming months. So that is something to be extremely proud of. And what I want to ask all of you is if you could well, actually, before I do that, let's do something differently. Let's first induct the students who are going to be doing research starting now in the summer. So can you guys stand up for a second? Alrighty, so I was gonna do a little bit more talking, but instead I'm gonna ask you guys to introduce each other, just because most of you have probably not seen each other ever in person. So let's go starting that way. All right, and Janelle actually was started our program just after the research Summer Research Institute last year. So she's been with us through other things, so you might be familiar with her because of the other activities. But this is the first time she's gonna get to do her research project. So we're very excited. Please let's have some applause for her. All right, next. You, yeah. All righty. And it's very exciting because she is our very first scholar who's going to be doing research in archival and in film. So next. Sweet. Marissa's also going to be my future therapist, so I can finally speak fairly well. All right, please, let's a hand. All righty, so she's gonna be doing great things. I've already seen she's very engaged with everything we've done, so I'm very excited.
I'm very excited to be a part of this because one thing that actually attracted us is I've always been some research. I can have a policy, I can move you with it. They themselves have research. Something I'm very I love the fact that
Orlando is also fresh off the press. He was just admitted into our program, I want to say a week ago. There you go. All righty. Last but not least. I think I'm also interested in a lot of things that have a very special way of getting together. So I'm really excited to see how she makes it happen. All righty. So I just want to make sure that I tell you guys that I look forward to what you're going to be doing in the summer. You guys have a very promising couple of months where you're going to be able to put a lot of the things that you've heard your professors describe into actual use. And you're going to be able to not just learn how to do something in particular, but you're going to get the experience of learning how to formulate questions on how to interpret things that are what you may or may not be thinking, because a lot of the research process is discovering that what you are thinking may not be correct. And the only way that you will be able to succeed is just having an open mind and making sure that you learn from the process itself and from the facts that you uncover as you do the research. Alrighty, let's have one more round of applause for all of our new researchers. All right, thank you guys. Alrighty, now I'm back on script and I can call our other GA, Autumn.
Oh boy, I can see myself. Good. I have a little bit of a script here, but I'm definitely going to go off because some things that we've talked about so far are just things that I want to kind of like circle back to and talk about because I'm really passionate about it. But I'm, like Dr. Reyes said, my name's Autumn. I am a doctorate student in the Doctorate of Occupational Therapy program here. I was not a McNair Scholar. I was a first generation college student. Went to Ohio State, graduated in 2014. I'm old. And I didn't really know services like this existed. I come from a background where my family did a really good job of like making things seem better than they were. So I went off to college and I was like, wow, I really don't feel like I fit in with anybody here because I have not had the experiences that they've had. I can't do the things that they can do. And it was hard. And I know how hard it is navigating the higher education system when you don't have the guidance or the financial resources that a lot of your peers do. And it's really difficult. Um, and I know that quite frankly, a lot of things in the higher education system are just not really set up to be inclusive of students from underrepresented backgrounds or first generation students. A lot of it just isn't set up to be very inclusive or very easy for us. So I'm really happy something like this exists and I'm really excited that I get to be a part of it. And I know you guys are going to benefit a lot from it. I did want to touch on what was talked about imposter syndrome, because that is a huge thing that I've dealt with. And I remember in the period between undergrad and graduate school, when I was not really sure what I wanted to do with my life, I felt like a huge failure. And for the first time, like someone in my life said to me, they were like, you came from first generation, no money, complicated family history. Like you have actually like done a lot just to get where you are. And that was the first time I had ever heard that. And so what I really want everyone in this room to take away is the fact that like, don't discount the fact that you have had to work a lot harder than your peers to get where you are. Like not only do you very much deserve to be here, but you have had to work 2, 3, 4, 10 times harder than a lot of the people around you. And like, you should be proud of that. And you should remember that. And you shouldn't discount that ever, because that's huge. And I'm really glad that this program exists to give you all the opportunities. And what else did I want to say? I'm going to stop ranting now and I'm going to go on to our graduates. But I am just really glad to see all of you here. I know you're going to do amazing things, and I know that you're going to be part of the future where hopefully students like us are not so underrepresented in higher education. So with that, I am going to announce our graduates. When I say your name, go ahead and walk up here, and Dr. Reyes is going to give you your stole. And we're going to start with our graduate who will be graduating in December of this year. What? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, forgot all about that.
All of you.
We're going to start with our student who's graduating in December of this year, and then we will go through our 6 graduates who are going to be graduating upcoming here in May. And if I mispronounce anyone's name, please correct me. I just started in January, still kind of getting to know everyone. Very good to see everyone in person. I hope I get to see you guys more often soon. But okay, so we're going to start with our graduate, our December 2021 graduate, Michelle Haswani. And now for our May graduates who are going to be graduating coming up here soon.
Oh, wait, we still have, sorry, the list was not updated by me. My
Huh?
bad. I have 2 more people, 1 more people, so for December graduates. All right, so Janelle.
Oh, no, that's okay. Okay, so now I am sorry about that. I had not had my list updated, but now we are going to our May 21 graduates. First we have Ola Abuhamda. Next, Drea Arnold. All right, and now Quindresa Demiri. All right, and now we have Michaela Gary. Mohammed Najar. And last but not least, we have Brianna Nichols. Congratulations to everyone. We're super proud of you. And can we do one more round of applause for everybody who's graduating?
All right, I have 1 question for you guys. I already messed up my list once. Am I missing anyone else? Anyone else graduating in December or in May that I did not list? Oh, come here, Erica. All right, guys. Now, I just want to thank you for being here today. We're going to have our meals. They're being set in the back. They're lunch, they're boxed dinners based on what you guys pre-selected. So you can just go and pick it up. I want to thank everybody for making it here, for committing to either doing your research program with us in the summer or congratulate you for your upcoming graduation. So I really am very happy for all of you. I'm really proud of all of you, and I just wish you the best. So that concludes like our live stream of the event. So I'm just gonna turn it off, and then the rest is gonna be us just eating and imagining there's music playing. All right, bye-bye.